Mae Kampong is the cutest mountain village that you'll visit when you come to Thailand. And it's a great option for a day trip from Chiang Mai because it's only 1 hour away. I've visited Mae Kampong 4 times already, and every single time it was beautiful. I've been on days when it was crazy busy, but also on days where it felt like we were the only tourists there. Hi, I'm Lizzie. I'm half Thai and half Austrian, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can get to Mae Kampong, how to beat the crowds, and no, you don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. for this. So let's start. Mae Kampong is a tiny mountain village near Chiang Mai, pretty close to the Lampang district. It became very popular because it's super cute, and a lot of tourists are going to visit this village, but not on every single day. The first time I went to Mae Kampong, it reminded me a little bit of Japan. Everything is like these cute old wooden houses. They all have a uniqueness to them, but at the same time, they all work with each other, next to each other. You know, sometimes you go to cities and you have like super modern right next to very old buildings, whereas there all the houses are in the same style. There are a lot of cute little shops, boutiques, and some very cute restaurants. Getting there is a little bit tricky. Every single time so far I went up there, we either hired a private driver or one of my friends rented a car. Many people also go there on motorbikes, but be careful because the roads are very hilly serpentines. One of the most unique spots in the village are the 2 coffee shops right at the very top of the village, where you can get this mountain view, which is also why most of the people go there. And when you're there, you will see a lot of people taking selfies at this spot. But how do you actually get to the very top coffee shop? In high season, when it's very busy, it's a little bit tricky to get all the way to the top with the car. They might stop you at the bottom and they will ask you if you have a hotel booking. At the beginning, when the locals noticed a couple of tourists coming, they all offered the same price. I think it was like 400-500 baht a night, and you can stay in any of the houses with the locals. But of course, with more tourists, they also learned that there is an income stream. And some of them provided homes specifically just for the tourists. Instead of offering them a mattress in the living room, there are some Airbnbs now. And actually, the first time I came there, I was really curious to what it would be like to stay there overnight. So the first time I went to visit Mae Kampong, it was so crowded, like you could barely walk up. And you actually had to stop the car in one of the bottom parking spots. The last time I visited, the driver would have been able to go all the way up and deliver us to the top coffee shop in the mountains. And we first had a stop in one of the coffee shops that he recommended at the bottom. And he parked there. And then he wanted to drive us up to the other coffee shop. And we were like, no, we want to walk. We want to explore the city. And he said, oh, I can drive you up and you can walk down because it's a very hard walk. And I personally don't think it's a hard walk. I actually quite like to explore places by hiking a little bit. I mean, a hike might be a bit of a wrong word because it's not as crazy of a hike. But for some people it might, because I took my parents there and they actually didn't like Mae Kampong because for them it was a bit too hilly. So keep that in mind in case you go with people who might be a little bit older. So in high season, you will need to show hotel booking so that the car can go past the parking spots. In low season, that's not a problem. You can just drive up. The reason why they stop the cars at the bottom is because of the traffic jam it creates. And it's also not very nice for the visitors because it's such a cute little village, but if you have the cars there, even if they drive in walking speed, it's not nice. You don't feel as safe to stroll around and look around because you always have to pay attention that you're not in front of a car. So yeah, if you can, avoid the crowds, avoid the high season because it's just not as nice of an experience. But also it's no problem at all if you just want to park the car at the bottom and walk up the hill. I think it's like a 10-15 minute walk. Maybe it was a little bit longer. It depends on how many stops you do in between. But if you were to walk directly from the bottom of the village to the top, I think it would be like 10-15 minutes. The nice thing in Mae Kampong is actually to just go there, stroll around, have a couple of the snacks there. They have some amazing strawberry mochi that you really should get. I personally love the chocolate one, but yeah, they're all very delicious. And the strawberries are really good. Like, you actually can have strawberries in Chiang Mai and they're local. Because of the mountain climate, it's a little bit cooler and the strawberries there are so sweet. It's so delicious. Definitely go have those strawberry mochis. Also, you might find some very interesting things that they sell. And if you're a bit like me, when you go to a new place, you might want to try something that you've never had before. And I try to make it a habit that every time I go to a new place, to a new country, that I try the food where I don't know what it is. No matter if it's fruit, if it's some type of dish or dessert, I always like to try something new, which can be a little bit tricky sometimes. So I found this thing and I thought because it's honeycombs, it's probably just like some sort of dessert. They probably take the honeycomb and it's still full of honey and they add something to it. Well, that's not quite what it was. It was actually the bees and the bugs of the bees. It was the bee eggs. And I was like, oh my God, this tastes so weird. I'm glad that I didn't know what it was when I first had a bite, because I don't think I would have tried it otherwise. Knowing now what it was, actually it didn't taste that bad. Like those things popped a little bit and there was definitely some interesting consistency, whatever that is in English. The flavor, if you're not used to it, and then once you have this realization that I'm eating bee eggs and you're meant to protect the bees, maybe ask first what those things are instead of just taking it. Or maybe don't, because everyone else also had a try and we all agreed, like, thank God I didn't know initially what it was, because I would have liked to try it, but if I would have known what it was, I probably wouldn't have tried it. But yeah, you will find things like really nice ice cream, those mochi, little snacks everywhere, but you will also find bee wasps, so be wary of that. One time I went to Mae Kampong with my parents, and I personally love Mae Kampong. I thought it was a great trip for a weekend to take my parents there. However, my parents are a little bit older. They're not as active anymore. So for them, it was very tricky to walk around there. Maybe also because I booked a hotel at the very top, thinking I would be so smart because then we'll have this nice view. However, even the car struggled to bring us up. We actually had to get out of the car. The car then drove up with the luggage and we had to walk it, and which I personally don't mind, but for my parents it was very exhausting. So I kind of regret a little bit that I booked a hotel that far up. I would stay in it again. I think it was super nice, and the lady who hosted us was very cute and friendly, and they had a really delicious khao for breakfast. Oh my God, it was so good. Khao is a rice soup, by the way, a very typical local Thai breakfast dish. However, if you travel with elderly people, then maybe that's not the right spot. We stayed in the Hak Villa here, which is just opposite the Coffeeshops with the view at the top. It was nice for a night. I don't know if I would stay there much longer because there was some mold as in so many places, but for one night it's totally fine. Also, if you come to Mae Kampong during the winter time, be wary that it's in the mountains. So it will be a little bit more chilly than in the city of Chiang Mai. So again, there isn't that much to do in Mae Kampong itself other than strolling around and enjoying the nature and enjoying the view. There's also a little stream that you can go to, and there's a waterfall. So the waterfall is, once you pass the coffee shops in the top, you go a little bit further, it's maybe like a 5 to 10 minute walk, and then you have the waterfall. However, I don't think it's the most amazing waterfall in Thailand. So if you want to skip it, if you're wondering if it's worth the walk, I don't really think it's worth it. But also saying that we haven't been to the very, very top of the waterfall. We went higher than most of the tourists because I feel like most of the tourists stayed at the bottom, took a few pictures and then went back to the village. We walked a little bit up, but it didn't seem like that there was much more to see. So maybe there's a little bit more that we missed out on. But from what I saw, it's not really worth it going to the waterfall. I actually found the stream that we found a little bit nicer. It was a bit more cool there and calmer, and there were no other people when we went there. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lizzie. I'm a freelance UX designer and digital nomad, and this channel is all about how you can create a work life that works for you. So I usually talk about freelancing and entrepreneurship, like in the Freelance Blueprint podcast. I also talk about being a digital nomad and all the things that you can do while you're traveling, like in this video where I'm talking about Mae Kam Pong. So if these topics are things that you're interested in, don't forget to hit subscribe. Maybe Mae Kam Pong village will not be your main destination. Chances are you're coming from Chiang Mai and you drive all the way up there and do a little day trip. I'm not sure if it would be worth it coming all the way to Chiang Mai just for that village. I think it's super cute, and if you have more than a handful of days in Chiang Mai, definitely add a trip to the village in your itinerary. On that note, I'm thinking about doing a video about Doi Sotep, so if you think that could be interesting, comment Doi Sotep in the description so I know to make a video about that. Mae Kam Pong also has this cute little temple, and when you walk up the village towards the coffee shops in the top with the view, there's also this kind of crossroads. And especially in high season, when you have all the cars coming up and down where maybe you don't see them and they might speed up from the bottom to be able to make the hill, it's probably safer to take the side road, and then you'll end up by the temple at the top, which is also very cute. You don't have to stay overnight in Mae Kam Pong, but it's super nice to wake up there. I would recommend that you find a place with breakfast because I'm not sure that the restaurants at the center of the village are open, because most of the tourists usually come from Chiang Mai and they come there for a day trip. They don't arrive until like 10, 11 a.m. So often the restaurants, the coffee shops at the beginning are not open. But from what I know, most of the places offer breakfast anyway. Most of the times I went to Mae Kampong, we actually had a private driver, which has the advantage that you can stop at different places along the way. The driver we had last time, he showed us a coffee shop that he really liked where he got his beans from. And we also had a break there. The coffee was really good. The taste notes that they say the coffee had wasn't actually matching, but also I'm not really a coffee connoisseur. I'm just someone who likes to drink coffee. I'm not an expert on this. But my friend ordered this coffee, which was so amazing. And I actually got a bag of that to take home with me. After visiting the village, on the way back to Chiang Mai, we also had a stop at the hot springs. And yes, I'm half Thai, half Austrian, but I didn't actually have my Thai nationality confirmed until maybe a couple months ago, because we only now registered my birth at the Thai embassy. So I was trying to see if I can get the Thai entrance fee. I've always tried, because people are always surprised when I speak a bit of Thai because my accent isn't that strong. However, I don't actually speak Thai very well. My pronunciation isn't that bad, but the grammar and my vocabulary itself isn't that great. So I told them, well, my mom is Thai. What's the entrance fee? If like you charge this for foreigners and you charge this for Thai people, what are you going to charge Lokung? Lokung is the word that they call people that are from two countries. So like if the mother is from one country and the father is from another, and it actually means half child. How do you charge people that are foreigners but also Thai? And then they asked me for an ID card. I showed them a copy of my birth certificate because I don't have an ID card, a Thai ID card yet. And then they gave me the Thai entrance. So that was a tiny step for humanity, but a huge step for me because I finally got the Thai entrance fee somewhere. So for me, that's a big achievement. And on that note, you will see that in Thailand a lot, where they charge different entrance fees for locals and for foreigners. And I know some foreigners who don't like it because they want equality. Everyone should be treated the same. But I also think we cannot really say that as foreigners coming to Thailand, because our base income is very different to the base income of a Thai person. So it wouldn't make sense to charge foreigners the same price as Thai people, because if a foreigner on average earns $2,000 a month and the average Thai person earns $500 a month, it's not fair to say that they should both pay the same entrance fee. And Thai people pay taxes. Often those taxes contribute for facilities like the temples or other things, which the foreigners that come visit Thailand, they don't pay regular taxes to maintain those temples and other things. So personally, I think it's just fair. And yeah, maybe that's a very privileged thing of me to say because I finally managed to sneak in the Thai price. Just know that in some areas, they might charge you different entrance fees because you're a foreigner. So the hot spring was actually quite nice. The only thing that was a bit like, not a great experience is you pay entrance to visit the hot springs, and there you can basically boil a couple of eggs, you can see the hot steam and you can smell the eggs, you can dip your feet into the hot spring, and you also have some signs of how hot the water is at that stage. But if you want to swim there, if you want to access the spa, you have to pay extra. But you don't just pay extra to access the bathing area, you pay extra for every single pool. So if you want to have a private pool, you pay extra. If you want to be in the family pool, you pay extra. So that's a bit of an annoying thing. Because we were a group and we were both male and female, we decided to go to the mixed gender swimming pool, and it was super nice. And even up until 2 days later, my skin felt so soft after that hot spring. So I highly recommend it. There isn't actually that crazy much to say about Mae Kampong village. Just be wary that this was a small village before where everyone was about agriculture, coffee, tea, and it recently became a tourist destination because it's actually really, really cute. So treat the locals well and with respect, and I hope you enjoy your trip to Mae Kampong. Now that you know a little bit about Mae Kampong and can decide for yourself if it's worth visiting for a day trip or not, that's my personal opinion, but yes, if you have the time, definitely go. But now that you know a little bit more about Mae Kampong, you should watch this video next. It's all about Chiang Mai and the things that you can do while you're there, and why I love this place so much. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And I'll see you at the next video.